Chris Fedor at Cleveland.com. Hey, JB.
Hey, what's up, Chris?
Hey, was Rajon able to practice today?
You guys, I don't know if you guys can, but it's kind of loud in here, so you can help me out. Sorry.
Was Rajon able to practice today?
No. Oh, yes, he went through what we did, but all we did was walk through stuff today. So I don't expect he won't play tomorrow.
Okay. And then Isaac was talking a little bit last night about some of the rule changes in the NBA and how somebody like him has benefited defensively from that. I'm curious from your perspective, like how you feel the changes made this past offseason have benefited him specifically.
It allows him to be more aggressive defensively. I think a lot of the, where the offense could create the contact and, play those games makes it hard for defenders to be aggressive because you're always worried about, them making that move to create the contact and the foul. So you're more on your heels and playing a softer style of defense. And now, where you can dictate some of those things and they're not allowed to get away with those things, you can be more physical and more aggressive, obviously legally in your space.
Thank you.
Kelsey
Russo, The Athletic. Hey, JB, how are you?
Hey, Kelsey, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Kind of actually going off of that, going back to the road trip with Isaac and then also last night, how have you just seen him find that rhythm again on both ends of the floor and just kind of, sort of get back to what we saw before he had the stint in the protocols?
I think, he's figuring it out and it's not easy. And when you think about, what he had to go through, so he goes through, the COVID protocols where you're not allowed to do much of anything. And then he comes back and goes through an elbow injury, which impacts your shooting and how much work you can put in. So he's been through a lot. And I think what we've seen is, the more reps he gets, the more consistent minutes and time on the floor, the better he gets. I think he's back to being who he was beforehand. And what he has now is a clear picture of how he can be effective and help this team.
And then just sort of a different question. So you guys are ranked 9th in defensive rebounding but 18th in offensive rebounding. And I know we've talked a lot about the importance of rebounding, but is there more of an emphasis on the defensive rebounding to cut down those second chance opportunities versus maybe like your guys' offensive rebounds?
Yeah, for us, finishing possessions is huge. Mm-hmm. And these teams and individuals are too good if you let them get multiple looks at it. I think we've seen that bite us in the butt. But for us, we want to be great in transition. And if we're sending our guys to the offensive boards, then we're not in position to get back in transition. We feel like our half-court defense is really good. So we have to do our best to make teams face our half-court defense more times than not. And if you're going towards the basket, it's hard to then transition back if the other team does come up with the ball.
Thank you so much.
Go back to Chris.
Yeah, JB, we've talked a lot this year about Darius and his leadership. Why do you think guys respond so much to him?
It's a unique personality trait, to be honest with you. I don't know if there's a rhyme or a reason, but I just believe that some people have that personality and that charisma that people want to follow. And I think, he's one of those people. It's interesting. Obviously, we just played Utah, but it's very similar to like how Mike Conley is, for example. Like there's just certain guys that people want to be around and they want to follow. And, it's the way that they care about others, the way they treat others. There's a lot of things that go into it, but it is just, I think it's a very unique thing.
Did you see that from the beginning with him, even back when you were an assistant here?
Yeah, you can feel it right away. Like when he walks into a room and he engages you, those are the things that you notice right away. Like even the ups and downs and trying to figure out his first year and all those things that were going on, his teammates wanted to be around him and wanted to play with him. And they wanted him to do more. And, like he's doing it now, but like we talked about those early threes early in his career, you know, and like his teammates were urging him to take those shots and make more plays and take more risks. So you could see that early on.
And JB, given that they've given coaches in the NBA so much responsibility when it comes to all-star stuff, what is your process with that? How do you go about picking the guys that you think are most worthy of being reserves?
I mean, I'm hopeful, but you take the time to do the research. And then you in your own mind have to, you know, prioritize what you value. And for me, it's always about how do you impact winning. And I do believe that matters. You know, there's a lot of numbers out there and people can stuff stat sheets and those types of things. But if you're not impacting winning, I think somebody who's impacting winning in my mind is more deserving.